Alright, welcome back. In this video what we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuing off of the if statements, and this is something I didn't include in the other just because I felt it would take up a little bit too much time. But in the last video we just did simple if and else statements, but there's also another thing you can do called an else if, right? I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So let's say we have an if statement here, and obviously we haven't declared x, so let's just do that now. Int x is equal to, let's say, we're just going to pick random numbers, 12 or something like that. Alright, so let's have our system dot out dot, actually, yeah, we'll just do this print line. I was going to say I could probably even do a boolean, but I think you guys know how to use that. We might do that later on, but basically you can put this in here, and let's say, I don't know, no, right? No for false, just to be different. So now oftentimes you'll have an if and then you'll have an else. But what if you wanted to check for a different value, right? So say for example, you have your else here, but you wanted this else to be specific, right? Or you wanted to have another if, but you want it to be like a chain, right? And what I mean by that is, so you have if, and then if this thing is false, right? So this is false, then what's in the else brackets will be executed. But what if you want the else brackets to specify something as well? So if this is false, okay, assuming this is false and then this is true, well, we can do that. We can go if else, right? And if else, oh sorry, not if else, else if. Alright, yeah, sorry about that. Else if, and again, brain cells are being lost, but that's okay. Else if x is equal to 12, and we go here, we go system dot out dot print line, and we print out something to say yes. Then what's going to happen is it goes through and it looks at the if, and it says if x is equal to 10, okay, well it's not equal to 10, it's equal to 12. So then, now that we know that this is false, we can then execute this. So it's almost like a bunch of cases, and we're going to show that later on switches, which is probably a better way of doing this. But, okay, so we know that this is wrong, so then we can move on to the else if. And the thing is, you can do a ton of these. You go else if, and this is useful if you have very specific numbers that you're trying to detect. So let's say else if x is equal to 34, or else if x is equal to 1, or something like that. And then eventually you can end it by just saying else. And then what you would do is you just have that be like a default case. So I'm going to kind of come up with more of a specific example of how you would use this. Alright, so this is our example here. I just wrote it out, and basically what we have here is we have our int time, so 24, as in 24 hours. So obviously you'd start at like 0, and then basically this is a 24-hour clock, right? And if the time is less than 12 o'clock, so as in 12 o'clock during the day, then we would get, as we can see here, we would get good morning, right? Because it's kind of morning time at that time. And then if we go down here, time is less than 17, as in roughly like 5 o'clock. So, well, yeah, 5 o'clock. Then it would say good afternoon. And then you have else good night. So what does this really mean? Well, what this means is that, and let's run this, see what happens. So we get good night, which is true because it's 24, as in it's basically 12 o'clock, it's midnight basically. And as soon as it rolls over to 1, as in it goes anywhere over 12, it'll then be the morning, right? So now obviously in this program it wouldn't happen because it only computes, like basically, say if you put 0, then you get good morning, right? So that's basically what I'm trying to say. So say it's 1 o'clock, that's good morning. And let's say it's 16. So this would be around 4 o'clock, right? Then you get good afternoon. So you can see what happens here. Basically, it checks if it's less than 12 to see if it's the morning. So if it's not less than 12, we know it's not less than 12, then let's see if it's less than 17. And if it is, then it's the afternoon. And if it's not less than 17, then it obviously has to be greater than that. And then so anything greater than 17 we will consider to be nighttime. Now in this case we could also put it as equal to as well, so we can include 17, we could also include 12 with the morning, I guess, but you get the idea. Basically it's a way of chaining together conditions. So if this is wrong, then let's check if this is the case. If this is wrong, then we can just do whatever, if these are all wrong, then we do that. That's why you usually end it in just an else, or you don't even have to do that. But yeah, so that's the tutorial for today, and yeah, hope you liked it.